the big story of the evening was Oprah Winfrey. Oh, Oprah. So stunning, so brave, such stunning bravery, such brave stunnery. It's so much bravery. I can't even take it. I just can't take it. In fact, it was so brave that everybody lost their mind. NBC tweeted that Oprah would be our future president. Yes, really, the network, NBC, they tweeted nothing but respect for our future president, hashtag Golden Globes. Our, capital O-U-R. Amazing. Just amazing. Your future president is going to be a lady who is extraordinarily rich, very good at connecting with audiences, and who is famous for vacillating in her weight for years and years. That's just great. I mean, honestly, we don't get to complain about reality TV stars and self-made billionaires being president of the United States, because the president of the United States is those things, right? And then brags about them on Twitter. Don't worry, we'll get to that in a little bit. But she was just so incredible last night. She got up there and she finally spoke truth to power. Sure, there are tons of pictures of her kissing Harvey Weinstein. Sure, there's an actress who back in November alleged that she fell into Harvey Weinstein's trap because she saw Oprah hanging out with Harvey and figured Harvey must be a good guy. Sure, Oprah Winfrey existed in this town for 30 years, making oodles of cash, becoming the most powerful woman in media, the queen of all media, and never had one word to say about sexual harassment and assault in Hollywood. Sure, all of that's true, but the bravery, the stunningness McBravery, just shocking, just stunning. Reese Witherspoon tweeted out in the midst of all of this that Oprah Winfrey, that she was now going to date time differently. She tweeted, quote, "I will now officially divide time like this. Everything that happened before Oprah's speech, everything that will happen after." My God, it's just like Jesus. It'll be B-O and A-O. Before Oprah and after Oprah. Just incredible. Things have changed. Can't you feel the change in the air? Can't you feel all the men backing away from the sexual harassment and abuse because Oprah Winfrey got up and said some vague words? I do. I feel like everything changed last night. Now, to be fair, Oprah's really good at this, right? Oprah's actually a very good speaker. She's very talented. She's quite a good actress. She's very good at connecting with audiences. We've known all this for years. She gets up. Chris Chaliza at CNN said, you could have heard her giving this speech in Iowa. You can almost imagine her running for president. Ugh! Have we learned nothing, people? Nothing. Right? The entire media that suggests that inexperience is bad, that we don't need somebody with no policy, that we don't need somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing at the head of government. And they're like, you know what we need? Oprah. Yeah, solid move. Okay, so she gave this speech, and everyone is just over the moon about this speech. It's just great. She gets up there and she finally says enough. She, Oprah, the queen of all media, finally says enough is enough. Now, do I think that's anything special? No, because I was under the impression that we all felt this way, right? I mean, everybody showed up to the Golden Globes last night wearing black. There's a classier Golden Globes than we've had in years. There wasn't people dressed like Lady Gaga breaking out of an egg at the Golden Globes red carpet. Everybody just looked like it was the 1950s, and they were wearing black dresses. Actually, everybody kind of looked classy. Maybe this should be the going rule there from now on. But, you know, and everybody shows up, and they're talking about Time's Up and Me Too, and everybody's trying to back away slowly from anyone who is remotely associated from Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. And so I'm not sure what was so groundbreaking about all of this, except that people want Oprah to run for president. They were talking about this back in March. And I'll go through it in a few minutes, whether Oprah could actually win when she runs for president. But first I want to go through the speech because it's been treated as just grand and glorious because she finally stood up for all the victimized women throughout history and over time. Oprah Winfrey, so stunning, so brave. Here we go. There are a few problems. She starts off by talking about how she is exactly the same as Sidney Poitier in 1964, right? Sidney Poitier won a Golden Globe, I guess, in 1964. And she said she watched it on TV, or he won an Oscar, I guess, in 1964, maybe for In the Heat of the Night. In any case, she says this. Clip one. Yeah.
In 1982, Sidney received the Cecil B. DeMille Award right here at the Golden Globes, and it is not lost on me that at this moment there are some little girls watching as I become the first black woman to be given the same award.
Name them. Name them. Seriously, name the lives of the little black girls whose lives were changed because they saw Oprah Winfrey win this award. Not by Oprah Winfrey making $3 billion over the course of her career. Not by Oprah Winfrey becoming the most powerful woman in media over the past 30 years. Not by Michelle Obama being First Lady, or Susan Rice being National Security Advisor, or Loretta Lynch being Attorney General, or Condoleezza Rice being Secretary of State. Not by any of those things. Right, not by any of these famous black women being in positions of power for years. Not by the fact that the music industry is dominated by powerful black women. Not by Beyonce. Not by the fact that the entertainment industry is dominated by beautiful black women and powerful black women. Not by the fact that black women dominate sports. Not by Venus Williams or Serena Williams. Not by any of those people. It was Oprah winning a Golden Globe last night that changed everything, people. It changed everything. And let me tell you, black girls who are watching TV today, they are in exactly the same situation as she was in 1964 watching Sidney Poitier in his white tie and black skin, this is her words, get up and say what he says at the Oscars or at the Golden Globes. Right? It's exactly the same. She is 64, 2018, exactly the same. Now, I hate this kind of virtue signaling. I really do. Because 2018, to pretend this is exactly the same is not remotely true. It's stupid. It's overblown. And to pretend this is some sort of groundbreaking moment is just sheer crappery. It's just nonsense. It's just stupidity. Okay, but she didn't stop there, right, in her effort to garner support for her 2020 run. Then she thanked the Hollywood foreign press. And I love this still frame of Barbra Streisand, I think is pretty fitting, actually. So we may just leave that. But there is Barbra Streisand with, I guess, is that James Brolin? I'm not sure who that guy is. Maybe not James Brolin? No. Okay, in any case, here is Oprah Winfrey talking about the Hollywood foreign press and the power of the press, how special the press is. They are so special, people. Let Oprah tell you about it.
I want to say that I value the press more than ever before as we try to navigate these complicated times.
Yes. Yes. Just yes. I mean, oh, and the people nodding, and the people cheering, yes, the press, oh! Okay, let me explain to you something about the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association is 90 international reporters. You know what they do all day? They report on Hollywood. This is what they do. This is what the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is. You know what might have been a good story about Hollywood? You know, for like the past 80 years? Any time in here? You know what would have been a good story for them to report on? The rampant sexual abuse and harassment that took place in Hollywood for decades by the most powerful men in the business. That might have been a good thing. Did they speak truth to power? Did they uncover the secrets and the lies and the victims and the tyrants? Did they do that? She wants to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press for speaking up for truth. Good job, guys. You're just brilliant. You're just fantastic. Wonderful job. I am so impressed. Legitimately, the only members of the press who did anything about the rampant Hollywood abuse were people like Ronan Farrow, right? People over at The New Yorker did some great work on this. But the Hollywood Foreign Press Association did nothing, right? I mean, the idea that they're being feted as some sort of great truth tellers in a world of lies is just ridiculous. Also, I will acknowledge that the entire left focus on the power of the media and the power of the press, aside from when they can rip on the Catholic Church, like they praise the press for going after the Catholic Church for its sex abuse scandals, I don't remember them being quite so over the moon about the power and necessary wonder of the press during the Obama administration. Now we get movies like The Post, which I gotta say, I have no desire to see this movie because if the trailer is that tendentious and obnoxious, I cannot imagine that the movie is going to be any better than that. I mean, it is the most obnoxious trailer in human history. Meryl Streep, oh, you just watch me as I take on all the brutal men in the government. And Tom Hanks rubbing her shoulders while she does so. It just looks like a terrible movie. I'll have to watch it and tell you how terrible, because now I've committed myself. In any case, that wasn't the end of Oprah Winfrey and her glorious, grand, bravery-ridden speech. Here she talks about speaking your truth. My least favorite phrase in all of human history, speaking your truth. Here we go.
What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have. And I'm especially proud and inspired by all the women who have felt strong enough and empowered enough to speak up and share their personal stories. Not a shot of Meryl Streep.
Okay, Oprah's great at this, and I'm sure she's really emotional about this. You know, let's put it this way. Because I'm not Captain Emotion, I always get suspicious of emotion on cue. But I'm sure she's really emotional about this. She had a really rough childhood, did Oprah Winfrey. I'm sure that her mother endured a lot of stuff. All that said, that phrase, speaking your truth, is so obnoxious. And then to say, speak your truth and have a shot of Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep, like Harvey Weinstein is a god, Meryl Streep. That's how the press treat this. Okay, there's no such thing as your truth. I've said this 1,000 times. There's no such thing as your truth. There is the truth and your opinion. And when you say speaking your truth, that requires evidence. Okay, evidence would be a good thing. Now, I believe women who make these allegations as a general rule. I do, but I have to weigh the evidence. I have to weigh how credible the women are. I have to weigh whether there are repeat accusations. I have to review the nature of the man. I actually have to look at the evidence on all of these accusations. But this phrase, speaking your truth, needs to die, and needs to die slowly and horribly in the torture chamber used in The Princess Bride for Wesley. Okay, it needs to die. That phrase, speaking your truth, is just garbage. Even people on the left are recognizing that it undermines their argument to say that. Okay, but that's not the end of Oprah's silly Okay, and again, there's a lot in the speech to like. There is, I mean, like sexual harassment's bad. Right, I'm on the side of that. If I've not been clear about that, I've been saying this 4 months, okay, and 4 years, and for decades, like literally my entire career. But I'm going to get to what I think was the worst injustice that she did last night, Oprah Winfrey, in this speech, including Oprah Winfrey's masterful, stunningly McBrave speech. I'm just going to keep using those words over and over because that's what the media does. I mean, if I read you the headlines on Oprah, now I'm going to be forced to read you the headlines on Oprah. Okay, I'm just going, like right now, in real time, to Google News. Oprah knew exactly what she was doing on Sunday night, CNN. HuffPo, Oprah and Stedman hint she's open to presidential run. Sources, Oprah Winfrey actively thinking about running for president. Right, Golden Globes 2018, how Oprah saved the night. Oprah 2020, Golden Globes host Seth Meyers jokes it may be in the cards. Oprah Winfrey triumphs at black-draped Golden Globes. I mean, Oprah speaks out to young girls in Cecil B. DeMille Award speech. Just so much heroism speaking in a room full of other rich people who all are forced to agree with her by the news cycle about everything. Because if they don't, then we'll all accuse them of sexual abuse or being complicit in it. I mean, the thing about speaking truth to power is that it would be good to do that when there's actual risk involved. She was the most powerful person in the media for the last 20 years. She did not say a thing about this happening in Hollywood. A thing. And now she's being used as the point person on this. She's the queen of bravery. It's like Roger Goodell saying he's taking the lead on concussions. I keep using that because it's the best example I can think of. It's like the president of Penn State saying he's taking the lead on child sexual abuse. Okay, you can't do that. It's just ridiculous. It's hypocritical and ridiculous. And again, I agree with everything she's saying. I agree. But where was she 6 months ago? Okay, not even that long ago. Okay, this is the part that really drives me up a wall. So she actually compares women who are being victimized in Hollywood to a woman who was raped by 6 white men in 1944. A black woman raped in Alabama, and the guys were not prosecuted for it. Here she is talking about it.
In 1944, Reese Taylor was a young wife and a mother. She was just walking home from a church service she'd attended in Abbeville, Alabama, when she was abducted by 6 armed white men, raped and left blindfolded by the side of the road. For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men. But their time is up.
Oh, so much emotional. Lecture us, Hollywood. Lecture us on this. Right? Lecture us. Because it's not like you are the scandal. Why? Yeah, you lecture me, Oprah. Yeah, you lecture me. I wasn't the one who was whining and dining with, Harvey Weinstein 5 seconds ago. The hypocrisy of it just drives me up a wall. Listen, I'm glad that Hollywood is finally owning up to the issue. Do I think there's going to be any material change in Hollywood, by the way? No, I think this is all going to die down in 6 months and things will go back right to what they were before because no one's naming names. Does Oprah have a Rolodex? She knows all these guys. She got anything to say about any of them? A name? One? How about that? And the part that drives me up a wall here is the implication that America in 1944 is the same as America in 2018 with regard to allegations of rape, particularly cross-racial rape. Okay, if a group of white men raped a black woman, not only would it be front page story across the nation, the president would sound off, every person in America would be calling for those guys to be strung up. How do I know? Because it was a national scandal when Al Sharpton claimed that Tawana Brawley falsely was raped by a bunch of white men. It was a national scandal when the Duke Lacrosse guys were falsely accused to have raped Crystal Mangum, who was a black stripper in Duke. And when that actually happened, we want those guys to go away forever. To pretend that society now and society then are in any way similar, and she said, and that the Me Too movement is what changed that. Guess what? The Me Too movement didn't change that. Everyone was against rape, and everyone is still against rape. We were against rape. We are against rape. We will be against rape for my entire lifetime. And this pretend nonsense that 1944 is the same as now, or that it requires the same kind of bravery. No one should compare Reese Taylor to Oprah Winfrey. Okay, nobody should be comparing Rosa Parks to Meryl Streep. If you are, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And to compare America circa Alabama, circa 1944, with America circa 2018, in Hollywood, the repository of all the sexual abuse is just vomitricious. It's just a bag of vomit. Okay, now, there's a lot of talk about Oprah should run for president off the basis of because again, what courage. What unbelievable courage. By the way, I did note this last night, and a bunch of people got mad at me for saying so. But how many times was Ron mentioned last night? Waiting? I didn't see it mentioned once. Did anybody else? I didn't watch the whole program because I'd rather have gouged out my eyes with a spork. But if you actually were watching this thing, was Iran mentioned? I like when she says, we side with women all over the world. That would have been a good time to talk about maybe places around the world where women are being routinely victimized, not just in the United States. And Oprah, by the way, cares about things happening around the world. She founded a school for girls in South Africa, right? She actually cares about stuff happening outside the United States. Wouldn't now have been a good time in that speech to say, not just women here, but women in Iran, and women in Saudi Arabia, and women in Egypt, and women right? Couldn't you have just listed those off in the middle of it? But no, because Hollywood is deeply invested in Hollywood itself, and they have to show that they're leading the fight against themselves, which of course is not true at all. Okay.